Okay, so basically Disney realized that not only the short story, but also the more widely known ballet of the Nutcracker are public domain, so they could kind of maybe just blow this up and slapdash this thing together and get a quick buck out of it. That's basically it. Well, there's a little bit more to it than that. This is, I'd almost say, a sequel of sorts. The main character is Clara Staub, I believe they pronounced it, and she's played by Mackenzie Foy, and she has two siblings, Louise and Fritz, but they kind of immediately fall to the wayside. She also has a godfather named Strusselmeyer, played by Morgan Freeman. Clara is kind of an amateur scientist, and it's also revealed that her mother has passed away recently. This is the first Christmas since that, and she's not as enthusiastic about celebrating it. She thinks it's sort of wrong, but her father is sort of insisting that they try to carry this on as best they can. And you would think it's about loss and accepting that it's okay to move on from loss, but it really isn't. Instead, as she she receives two presents. One is a key, an egg that needs a key to open it. Her mother gave this to her and said everything she would need was in there. And she needs a special key to open it. And as she goes to this Christmas ball where her father wants at least one dance with her, she basically skips out on that dance to follow this string to where she thinks this key is located, and she winds up sort of finding this other world in a closet. So yes, now it's the Nutcracker, the Witch in the Wardrobe. While in there, that's where she meets the Nutcracker, and she learns of the four realms. There's three realms. There's the realm of flowers, the realm of basically winter, and then there's the realm of sweets, which is run by the Sugar Plum Fairy. There's the fourth realm, which is the realm of the mice, which they have the Mouse King, which is this giant amalgamation of mice, and the person who runs it is Mother Ginger. That's Helen Mirren's character. The Sugar Plum Fairy is played by Keira Knightley. And basically, the fourth realm, the realm of the mice, has been at war with the other three realms, and they need Marie, that was Clara's mother, to come and make the peace, but Marie is dead, and now Clara is here, so they think she can do it. And it turns out that they need this device that Clara's mother invented called the engine, which coincidentally is also started by the exact same key. Clara found the key at a tree, but it gets immediately swiped by a mouse who takes it back to the fourth realm. The Nutcracker itself is not a toy given to Clara at all. It's actually given to her brother Fritz. But again, he vanishes at that point and doesn't pop up again until the end of the movie. When Clara gets taken to the proper castle, it's explained that in the real world it's moving much slower, so she could do more here. Time is moving much faster here, so she can do more in the time frame that's needed. And the Sugar Plum Fairy basically convinces her, like, look, you need to get this key back because it's in the fourth realm now, which means it's in Mother Ginger's hands, and we need the key to start the engine to raise an army to bring peace, basically. And so the Nutcracker actually has a name. It's Captain something Dunsington. I can't think of what his first name is now. But he's just the Nutcracker. That's all you really need to know him as. And he basically volunteers to accompany Clara with a small army to go in and retrieve the key, which they eventually do, except it turns out that Mother Ginger is not the true villain of the piece. The Sugar Plum Fairy is. The Sugar Plum Fairy is upset that Marie left. I guess probably grew up because it seems a lot of this happened when she was a kid. Like Marie basically created everything, Marie was an amateur inventor unto herself, and like I said, she developed the engine, which can grow toy soldiers into being real soldiers, and it appears that that's sort of what happened, that she grew toys into being real people, and keeps them alive in this magical clockwork world. Go figure. The Sugar Plum Fairy is kind of mad that she left, and when she found out she died, well, there's no reason to care anymore, and she basically wants to rule all the 4 realms for herself. And it then falls to Clara to fix everything. Which, spoilers, she does. Yeah, like I said, there's a bit of a disconnect with this thing. Like, as it started out, I thought it was going to be about the pain of loss, and like I said, moving on beyond that. But then it just kind of, that goes away. Like, I wish they had done more with the siblings. That, they just, again, go away, never to be mentioned again. And this thing is really slowly paced. This is I want to say it was a 95-minute movie, but it feels more like, a 2.5-hour movie. That's how slowly this is. I mean, you begin to sense kind of early on that there's probably some sort of rub, because the Sugar Plum Fairy is like way too, not in that kind of way, but yeah, she's way too focused on Clara. And again, it just kind of feels like there's this emotional disconnect. Like, she's only Clara is only focused on opening this egg, which it turns out is a music box. And the Nutcracker's kind of like, hey, you need to kind of bring some peace here. Everyone else is sort of says, if you can bring peace, if you can, you can make this world better. And she's kind of still in it for herself, but then she sort of is it about selfishness? I'm not entirely sure. Oh, also, Helen Mirren's character, Mother Ginger, is not evil. She was actually trying to warn people about the Sugar Plum Fairy and got banished instead. But, and like I said, the Mice King doesn't really play as big a role. Also, they don't use a lot of the music from the ballet at all, and that's just, like the whole thing just kind of feels a little lacking and almost heartless. Like, I really wish they had focused more on the loss of the mother and the estrangement she's having with her father, because again, this thing, they don't state which year this is set in, but it's clearly set in like kind of a Victorian England, because it's in London, it's not in Vienna, but everyone still kind of has the German names. And like I said, it's sort of set in that time frame, and you could kind of maybe get the idea that the men of that time weren't really supposed to be open emotionally, and the father's probably having some problems dealing with that, because there is a point, like, when she skips out on the dance, she basically accuses him of he basically tells her she's being selfish, and she says, no, you're being selfish. And he's, and at the end of the movie, he kind of states, like, again, I lost someone special to me, and you lost someone special to you. And it's kind of hard to admit that sometimes. And I'm trying my best to make it feel like she's not really gone, when you probably didn't want to feel like she was not really gone. And it's like, I really wish they focused a little bit more on that, because I thought that was where most of the heart of the movie was. And the armies and stuff like that it's really, really boring. So basically, at the end of everything, I would say I would give this a D. Probably there was actually a fairly large group of kids in the theater, and it seemed like they were mainly they were kind of entertained by it, and if you needed something to just show kids for, an hour and a half, this will probably occupy their minds, but other than that, I don't see any other point in really seeing it.
You must remember this. The classic film adventure becomes a hot new series, Casablanca. David Soul as Rick. Scatman Crothers as Sam. Join them for the intrigue and the adventure.
Major Strasser thinks I'm sleeping with you.
There's no pleasing some people.
The romance. One word says it all.
Okay, trailer time, and, well, we kind of got mostly retreads. The first one up, I don't think I've seen this one in the theaters, but I know I've seen the trailer for this one, and it's Dog's Way Home. It's from the person who wrote A Dog's Purpose and some other book about a dog. Basically, it's a dog that gets lost, and the long and winding road it takes for it to find its owner again. it looked pretty boring. After that, we have The Kid Who Would Be King, a modern-day telling of King Arthur. Because, the last telling of the modern King Arthur worked so well. This one definitely played a little bit more humorous. It's way more kiddie adventure stuff. A kid is in a construction yard and he happens on this weird sword sticking out of a rock, and he pulls it out. And Merlin comes in the guise of a 16-year-old to aid him. And apparently there's people from Realm that are invading, and he needs to harness an army of school-aged soldiers. It looked a little bit more entertaining than I'm making it sound, at least. And then now we hit the retreads. Instant Family, again. The Grinch, which is the next movie up, I'll be reviewing again. Fantastic Beasts 2 again, Wreck-It Ralph 2 again, and last but not least, at least a new one, the live-action Aladdin remake. Don't really know about that one. My hopes are not high in that case. Like I said, next movie is going to be The Grinch, the next video. I am still planning on doing the WWE show this weekend. I can't remember what it's called. It's going to be a lot more condensed. It's probably just going to be like who won and if I thought the matches were good. It's not going to be as detail-oriented. Maybe that'll actually be a good thing. I don't know. And then after that, it's going to be the random trade review on the Ray. And I pretty much got everything shot and recorded and got the screen captures and all set up. So I just need to merge it all together. But so, in all intents and purposes, it's done. It'll be ready to go on Sunday. So, see you all next time. Hey guys, is there a movie you want me to tackle? Even if it's some stinker like Baywatch or the Emoji Movie or something else? Check out my Patreon at Sleepy Time for Cat Productions. See how you can make that happen.